My job in their lives is coming in and really helping them understand how worthy they really are and to trust themselves. We start out with having you really understand what is the root cause of the emotion that might be holding you back. And I find that it is that unworthiness, could be loneliness, could be abandonment, something happened in childhood. Where is that showing up in your business? Where is that showing up in your sales? How is that affecting your relationship with your child or your husband?
Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Welcome to today's episode where we embark on a remarkable journey from darkness to triumph. Before getting into the episode, I wanted to share about my new course, Mom Biz Mastery, that I created for moms who are aspiring to become an entrepreneur or who already are and looking to have genuine guidance and support through the ups and downs that go along with those endeavors. This course is designed to not only help you gain clarity and get started, but it's also meant to help you grow your business and yourself so that you can truly thrive in the way you deserve to. It provides amazing options, tools, strategies, insights, and more so that you can find what works best for you, what lights you up, and find your own unique path to how you want to run your business. You also get to join an incredible community where we can come together for additional support, coaching, networking, and so much of what is needed to keep us all going no matter what. Be sure to check it out by clicking the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside. Today's guest was one of those incredible ladies who joined me in the course. Our guest, Brittany Young, is a dynamic professional with an illustrious 15-year career in the pharmaceutical industry. Throughout her journey, she has collaborated with CEOs, top executives, and skillfully closed multi-million-dollar sales deals. Her impressive accomplishments include building a substantial book of business encompassing more than 300 clients. Within a remarkable span of 2.5 years, she astoundingly scaled her territory from $800,000 to an exceptional $8 million. Today, Brittany's passion and purpose have taken her beyond the corporate realm. She's an esteemed executive sales coach exclusively focused on female financial advisors and their teams, helping them 10 times their sales. Drawing from her extensive experience, Brittany guides and supports her clients in achieving greater financial prosperity through a groundbreaking and permission-based sales method called the permission process. In today's episode, we're diving deep into her story that's both heart-wrenching and uplifting, an exploration of how mastering your emotions and embracing sobriety can lead to incredible personal and professional breakthroughs. Tune in as we uncover the transformative power of resilience and support and hear how one woman turned her struggles into a story of hope and success. If you're ready for inspiration and practical insights that could change your life, you won't want to miss this episode. Without further ado, Miss Brittany Young.
Hey, Brittany. Thank you so much for joining me today on the show. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic, Mary. I'm really happy to be here and looking forward to having a conversation with you.
Gosh, looking forward to talking with you too. I've loved the conversations we've already had. Just getting to know you has been awesome. So yeah, share with us and let us know, who's Miss Brittany Young and tell us a little bit about your story and what's led you to be where you are today.
Sure. So I'm an executive leadership coach for female business owners, founders, and financial advisors. And I support them to master their emotion, specifically confidence, trust, and safety, so they can 10x their sales and have a lot of fun doing it. And I use my specific method called the permission process, which we can touch on in a little bit. You asked me about my story and how I got here in the first place. So before I started a business in 2017, and before I had a child in 2020, I was dealing very heavily with addiction and alcoholism for roughly 10 years. It started when I was 17, and I was sexually assaulted by what I thought was a friend. And it turned into this really awful feeling in my body that I could not get rid of. And in order to push it down away, I started drinking to numb all of it. And after that person told me not to tell anybody what happened to me or between us, to keep it silent, it was really hard for me to keep it silent. But I knew that if I didn't, something bad would have happened. So I continued to drink it and drink it and drink it away. And my family warned me, we have alcohol on both sides. We have plenty of alcoholics in the family. You probably have the gene. You're the firstborn. Don't be surprised if, you take a drink and you wind up loving it. And the next thing you know, you're, going down the rabbit. And that's exactly what happened. So it started at 17. It lasted for 10 years, like I said. And I was a pretty high functioning alcoholic. I finished college. I had a full-time job after college during the recession in 2009. And I was hiding my alcoholism very well. However, I was dating another alcoholic. There were physical fights, emotional fights, you name it. And I was pretty broken right around the age of 23. Luckily, broke up with that man, but my drinking continued. And from 23 to 27, that's when I started blacking out. Unfortunately, I was throwing up blood. I was fighting myself in places that I shouldn't have been, surrounded by people that I didn't know, in very dark places. And who I thought were friends turned out just to be drinking buddies. And I'll never forget, we went out one night and I had a glass of wine at the bar, and that's the last thing that I remember. I woke up in a random, it was a hotel, I think, or an apartment building. I don't know how I got there, but I was in the elevator and all of my things were with me, but security guards were standing there. And I woke up and I had vomit all over me. And they said, "Do you know where you are?" And I said, "No, I have no idea." I was very incoherent. I somehow managed to tell them where my then friends were in the apartment around the corner. They called the EMTs. They wanted to pump my stomach. It was really bad. Turns out that someone had drugged me at that bar. And that was the wake-up call that I needed to figure out, I have a problem. I need to solve this. And after, I would say about 6 of those men and women that I thought were friends decided this person, drunk Brittany, as they refer me as, needs some help. We want to intervene. We don't know how. They tried to push them away. The friendships ended, and I was left alone. And I needed to figure things out. And I called my dad, because my dad has several decades of sobriety under his belt. And he told me, just stop. I have no advice for you other than just quit. And when you do, life will change. And I thought, it can't be that simple. There's no way. So that was a phone call at a bar. I left that bar. I went home and I just started sobbing. And I thought, there has to be another way. There has to be a way of surrender around this, a way of letting this go. This is eating me. This is killing me. If I continue on this path, I will be dead. And I just hear this voice, and it said, "Come home." And I was looking around and I didn't know who was in my house. Because, I've had voices in my head from drinking and seeing things. And it kept saying, "Come home, come home." Thought, there's no way this is God. There's no way. But I dropped to my knees and I said, keep talking to me and help me surrender because I can't do this alone. And the next thing I knew, I was picking up my laptop and searching for ways to get sober. Yeah.
Please keep going. This is so, I'm sorry. You're making, I just resonate so much with your story, but it's giving me goosebumps, like very powerful. So yeah, tell us how that research went and what your next steps were.
So I pulled up a bunch of websites, a bunch of recovery centers, AA, places to go. But I came across this story. It was about page 5 on Google. And there was this gentleman who had just recently got sober about a year prior. And he was talking about how he got sober off of heroin. And I thought, this is a really interesting story. So this man performed in the CrossFit Games, and he came in dead last. He had no stamina, no strength in his body. He should have been there, should have been dead. And he was still an addict. And he took a couple of days off before, getting high again to perform in the CrossFit Games. And when he came in dead last, he saw his name on the board. He thought, okay, something has to change. If I don't do this now, I'm never, ever going to perform in these games again. My life's going to end and I'm going to lose everything. So he decided a very extreme way of getting sober, which was locking himself in his room with a bunch of loaves of bread and gallons of water to fight off the sickness that one gets from getting high off of drugs. And he spent 30 days in that room, and people would come over and talk to him and ask him to surrender, ask him to go to rehab, to which he eventually did. He got clean and sober. He went into Narcotics Anonymous. And the following year, he entered into the CrossFit Games again. And he got, I think it was either second or third place. And it was just this complete turnaround miracle of God. And I thought, if that guy can do what he just accomplished in 1 year from heroin, I can do this getting off alcohol and reclaiming my power and saying yes to God and my story all over again. So I immediately researched gyms, local gyms in my area, came across this CrossFit gym that was about 25 minutes away. I booked an appointment. And within 2 days, I show up and it's this kind of scary looking hallway, walk in, and it's in the middle of Pennsylvania. And everybody's looking at me because I looked like a zombie. I looked definitely dead. I was pale. I was, 50, 60 pounds overweight. And I walk in and it was this, if everybody just kind of parted the sea to let me walk to the desk. And they're all sitting in there. They're having, chocolate and energy drinks and they're having a good time. They're all laughing. And then there's this gentleman at the front desk. And I said, look, buddy, I have an appointment with you. I'm not really sure. Please go easy on me. I'm 48 hours sober. I might throw up on the floor. I might not come back. I know that I'll probably be really sore after this. But, help me out here and just try to understand my situation. And he's typing away, not even looking at me. And all of a sudden he turns and he's got this big grin on his face. Why is he smiling at me? It's weird. And he puts down on the desk and he sits up tall and he goes, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Tim. And I have 5 years of sobriety. You're in the right place. Come on in the gym. And that was the beginning of my journey, and I stayed there. I lived in Pennsylvania all my life. I stayed at that gym for a year and a half before moving to Austin, Texas, and really starting my sobriety journey a year and a half in, finding the beautiful meetings here of AA and the community, the sobriety community. Got involved with some organizations that support recovery. Eventually got really involved in the community and started to become a staple and really prospered in that way, and still very much involved in the community. Love to tell my story because it's one of resilience, it's one of hope. And there's not many women that come forward to share. There's still a lot of stigma, especially around women drinking and drugging, because how could you do that as a lady? How could you do that as a mom, as a career woman? And this disease of addiction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if it's your child, your mother, your father, your grandfather. It doesn't discriminate. And I am thankfully blessed to be one person out of millions who actually do recover.
And that isn't that it's so hard, like to know what it's like on the other side of that, and to see so many people who don't make it, who don't take the action to really create a better life for themselves, to believe that it's possible. Because I too have I've been down that road, and I'm so grateful to be where I am today. And to, like I said, with you sharing your story is such a powerful way to help give others permission and hope that, yeah, absolutely, you can change it no matter how hard or bad off it is. So that is absolutely incredible. And I love that you were able to make such a move like you did all the way to Texas. What's that like?
What's that? Texas is a powerful place to be. The state itself has a lot going on, but in my experience, being here in Austin, I think that there is still a party scene. There is still a lot of work to be done, but you have your party scene, and then you have your recovery community. And then there's the people that are trying to figure out, where do I fit?
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of folks out there that are very interested and vibe with sober curious, which is, I don't need to go to a bar to get drunk. I can have a drink here and there. I can enjoy myself, or maybe I go out and socialize. And that's cool too. In my experience, there's no need for me to judge somebody else in their current circumstances, where they're at. But if I can help somebody, I'm definitely going to do that. I've helped several people along the way, either get into rehab, stay in rehab, or get into a room, whether it's NA, AA, it doesn't matter. I've lost family to this disease. I've lost friends. And in fact, I lost a very good friend a couple of years back. I had no idea that they were suffering in silence. And I think that's one of the biggest stigmas. And, as a mom, there's wine culture, there's Xanax culture, there is let's get together and go party and escape our feelings, numb ourselves, push down what exactly we're experiencing as moms. And I don't resonate with that. And I know that it's a big battle to climb, especially because alcohol is something in our society here in the US that we continue to have to defend. Oh, it's just one drink. Oh, it's just, it won't kill you. It's just a shot. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you about that.
But that drink or that pill or that bottle of wine could wind up in the wrong hand.
Yeah.
And damaging not just the person drinking it, but the generations that come after, especially our kids.
Yeah. Gosh, it's crazy how that does follow into the generations like that, because alcoholism is something that ran in my family as well as just addiction. And it's scary as a mom, thinking that and just knowing that my kids, my goal is to teach them as much confidence and self-love and self-worth as I can, because I feel like that is what will help them to never be pressured or motivated into that situation. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but I hope not. And I hope that through that, they will love themselves enough to be like, I don't want to put that poison in my body. I don't want to do that. And I share my story with my kids. Well, mostly my older kid. My other two kids are too young, but and I will share it with them because I think it's important that we really educate them on the dangers. And you think it's so simple to take one puff off of a cigarette. It's not going to hurt. I remember that thinking, oh, it's just one puff. And little did I know that that would cost me years of my life of smoking, and lead me down to even more drugs and all sorts of different things. So you're absolutely right. That one shot for somebody may be okay, but for someone else who has addiction, no, that's definitely opening a wormhole that we do not want to go back down, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. I think teaching, I have a 3-year-old, so seeing alcohol commercials pop up on TV or computers or whatever it is, and she'll say, "What's that?" And I say, "Poison, spirits, and things that we don't put, mommy and dad don't put in their body." And whether she understands what I'm saying, she hears me. And I think the generation before us, our parents, our grandparents, everything was kept secret. So if we're not honest with our children, rigorously honest with our children, letting them know, hey, you have this disease in your family, you could potentially have these genes, and it's important that you know about it. And it is so, like, Mary hit it on the head. It is so important for us to teach them how to love themselves, because that's where I think it went wrong for me. I was feeling so unworthy and so unloved at that point at 17 in my life that I felt I had no choice but to turn to something that would love me back.
yes. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Or like you say, even to just numb it. Like for me, that was like, I hated my reality so much that I just didn't want to be there anymore. And so it kind of helped me escape it. And that's what's so sad about it is that doesn't solve anything, because once you come to, it's still there. You're not, if anything, you just made it worse. You've totally made it worse. It does not fix
Yeah.
anything. It does not cure anything. It's a horrible place to be, honestly. And the best thing you can ever do for yourself is to just make that decision. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And just do whatever it takes and figure out what that means for you too. Because like you say, where someone can tell you, oh, just quit, just stop. Well, for some people, they can't just stop, figure that out, do the research. Like you said, look at you. You just went on there and Googled how to quit drinking and you end up in a gym, which is a smart thing to do because, our mind, bodies, and soul are all connected to each other. So if your body's not in a good place, your mind's not going to be in a good place. If your mind's not in a good place, you're most likely not going to have a good, be good in your body. You're not going to take care of yourself in the way you do. So it all works together. So even if it's just one area that you start with, the more you kind of work to get that in a good direction, the more you're going to want to take care of the rest. So for me, it was the mind. I wasn't somebody who was big into the exercise at first. So it was all about getting my mind in a better place, loving myself, understanding what was holding me back and all the beliefs and the programming and conditioning that I never really realized had followed me my whole life. So that was where I started. And then the more I cared about that and cared about myself, the more I was willing, like, oh, yeah, well, let's do Zumba. Let's do, let's do things that I enjoy and tried it and help myself to just feel good overall. Now, I mean, honestly, in my life now, after many, many years of being like sober from hard stuff, drinking for me personally was the only one that never had a hold of me. of all the things that I've done. Maybe it's because I started so young and it got like to the point where I don't know, it just never affected me in the same as the hard drugs that I did. So it is something that to this day, but that took years and years of self-discipline, years and years of self-discipline and being sober to get to a point where I can have a drink or two now and it does not affect me. I do not crave it. I can go days without it. It does not bother me, but that's me. So it's not something that I would recommend, especially if somebody who truly has a strong addiction or, a weakness for alcohol, whatever your weakness is, because everyone has that certain weaknesses. I mean, there's addictions of everything, sex addiction, electronics addiction. There's addictions in so many ways, and that's out there. I mean, caffeine, if you think about it, you guys, that's like the number one addiction, out there. It is the highly most addictive thing out there. And that's what? On the shelves of every grocery store and every gas station you'll find, it's
Yeah,
it's out
it's
there.
crazy.
It is, isn't it?
My husband and I kicked coffee. I'd say we're going on 4 or 5 months, something like that. I wasn't a coffee addict per se, but my husband definitely was, and the withdrawal symptoms were very wicked. But people again numbing that feeling of if I wake up in the morning, I have to have something. I have to have my phone. I have to have my coffee or my tea. I need to get up and move my body. I'm not opposed to, as long as you're, not grabbing all of your things and running out the door. Be mindful of when you wake up. Start to, at least this is my routine. I wake up and I pray and I say, thank you for waking me up, God, because every day is a true blessing.
Yeah.
And I do it when I go to bed and throughout the day. Just those little thank yous mean a lot. But I'm not one to grab things anymore like I used to. And if we can start to understand the emotional awareness, the psychological caring that goes with those emotions. Why do you pick up coffee? What's the behavior? Why are you continuing to do it? Do you really love the taste? People would say no. So why are you picking it up then? What's causing you to create that as a habit? And like you said, technology, right? It's running rampant in our teenagers. Suicide rates are up by 80% in the teenage community because of technology. Bullying. Cyberbullying is, I get bullied online and I'm 37. I mean,
Oh yeah, I was bullied in the workforce for years myself in person, and it's not easy. But that and that's what this again is why I feel like as moms, fortunately, it's not really there in our educational systems like it should be. But for us, this is why we have to be the example. We have to step into this role of self-love and loving ourselves and living lives that are purposeful and that shine a light to our kids of where they could be and teaching them through being an example of loving themselves and believing in themselves and their self-worth, because if not, then they are going to be swept away by those unfortunate children who aren't being taught this, who are growing up in bad homes and who are being taught the wrong things and who are coming in and spreading that. No matter how much you want to protect your kids, you can't protect them from everything. They're going to go out there and live life on their own. They're going to have to face things on their own. So don't you want them to face it with the strongest confidence and the strongest beliefs in their values and who they are? And they're not going to get that way if we can't even do it for ourselves. I mean, it really does start with you. And this is one of the reasons why I am on this mission for moms, because as somebody who, when I realized that one of the reasons I was so insecure was just even as a child, as a toddler, was watching my own mom diss herself, call herself fat, call herself ugly. And I didn't even know how much that affected me. Just like I had a dad who was so in and out of my life. And I'll never forget at 14 years old, my mom, he was finally visiting and she just happened to ask, tell your daughter that she's not fat. And he was like, well, Mimi's not fat, but Mary, she's a little. And that's all it took. And that's all it took for me to like start having eating disorders and hating myself even more. And it's just sad the power that can be on a child, on ourselves and what we carry into adulthood. So I just really feel passionate about us talking. Let's talk. Let's talk to our kids. Let's talk about it with each other. Let's get it out on the surface and stop pushing it down. Because what does that really do for us except cause us to have these awful behaviors and respond and react in ways that are embarrassing sometimes and totally not who we are, you know? So,
Yeah, there's a mom that I follow on Instagram, and her parenting is much different from the way that we grew up. I admire her very much. She is in her late 50s and her kids are grown, but she has gone through quite a bit of trauma herself. And she's now a trauma-informed therapist. And the way that she explained toddlerhood, so if you're a toddler mom like me, that's the stage that I'm in, but I think it relates through all stages of life. And she was saying how when her kids were younger, and let's say his name is Max, and Max drew on the wall, or Max put gum in his sister's hair, or he got into a fight, whatever the case. She would say, you know what, Max? I love you anyway. I love you anyway if you draw on my wall. I love you anyway for sticking gum in your sister's hair. I love you anyway for getting into a fight at school. And I have now adapted that practice with my toddler, who has drawn all over the wall, or has said things that she shouldn't have, or done things like take the milk and it's splashing all over the floor. I love you anyway. And when we can deliver that between the ages of 3 and 7, which is where our programming begins, from 3 to 7 is when the memories are most vivid. And so if we can get into that gap in our children's lives, start talking to them as if they're older, as if they understand, as if they comprehend exactly what we're trying to say and agree.
yeah.
And letting them know we love you anyway. We respect you anyway. We care for you always. The other thing I do with her is, you are always safe with me, no matter what. And I am not going anywhere. I am here for you. I love you. Because that's what I needed to hear. And that's what I did receive. So if I can pass that to her, she could pass that to another kid at school.
Absolutely.
She could start to learn kindness through words, and then through emotion, and then just take that ripple effect from there.
Hey there, aspiring entrepreneurs. Ready to turn your free time into a flourishing digital marketing business? Introducing LipoMax, your comprehensive all-in-one package for launching a successful venture. With LipoMax, you'll get access to over 200 in-depth, beginner-friendly training videos tailored to your needs. Plus, enjoy lifetime access with continuous course updates, weekly training calls, and ongoing community support. All without any monthly fees or extra charges. And the best part? You'll benefit from a high-demand digital product, the course, expertly crafted and ready for immediate sale. Yes, that means you earn 100% profit on every sale. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to transform your free time into a profitable business. Join LipoMax today and watch your dreams take flight. Click on the link in the show note today to learn more.
Oh, and don't you love that? And that's what I think is so beautiful about what we're doing or what we're working to accomplish with that. I even have these posters on my daughter's wall that says, like, I am kind, I am, happy, I am beautiful, I am brave. And I always try to tell her at night too, I have her repeat it and just speak it, and even yesterday it was so cute when she came home from school. She's just like, Mommy, I just love you so much. And I was like, I love you too. And she's like, I want to work hard like you someday. And she's like, I want to be brave like you. I'm brave. You're brave. And I'm like, oh, I love that. Like it's rooting in that she's learning about bravery, about working hard, about, loving. And I think that is crucial, like you say, to their development.
Yeah. And the most beautiful thing that I get to see with Avery is she shows up for herself. So she doesn't need to receive that validation all the time because she feels it deep within.
Okay.
And it's my job, it's my responsibility to facilitate that and make sure it continues. But it's like, if she can learn this at 3, she can understand that she, at 37, doesn't need to question her worth and doesn't define herself by her past. Because you get to be empowered by the choices that you decide to make now and trust that they are the correct ones. If you're looking at your past and going, wow, I made some major mistakes. Okay, great. Can you forgive those mistakes? See them as lessons, love yourself in the process, and continue to be emotionally aware that when they come up, you can recreate a different story.
Yeah.
You get to make a new choice. You don't have to stay in that past experience. And one of the things, Mary, that I love working on with female business owners is self-worth. And realizing that when you're running a company, you're going to have employees that don't feel worthy of themselves, might feel rejected by you as a leader, but it has nothing to do with you. And so as a woman, it is our responsibility, first and foremost, to feel. And when we feel good, we do good. When men do good, they feel good. There's a complete opposite side of the spectrum. And as a leader in business, if you start feeling confident about yourself, you can trust who you are, who you're becoming, how you're being, and you feel safe, being able to communicate that and express that outwardly to your employees, in your relationships, with your kids, your husband, your wife, whatever the case may be, you are going to have an incredible company with people that feel that they can be transparent with you as the boss. They won't have to hide it. They won't feel the need to escape on the weekend and drink alcohol.
Oh yeah, or like go home and have a drink, because Lord knows that is something that I've fallen into myself personally, was having jobs that just stressed me out so much that when I got home, that's all I wanted to do was just pour me that glass of wine and just unwind. And one of the things I've taken with me into my business that I love is that when people work for me, I never want them to feel that way. I never want them to feel the way I did, where I felt so taken advantage of, taken for granted, underappreciated, underpaid. I just want them to feel good and to know that I respect the fact that they have a life outside of this. I think especially in the USA, like they're so work oriented in corporate America, and it's all about work, that so many people miss out on actually getting to just live life. Like they miss out on their families, on their kids, on just enjoying the moment, being in the present, because it's like all we focus on is making the money, providing, having to get a roof over our head, get food on the table, instead of being able to just live life on our terms. And so that's why I like the entrepreneur world. It's a challenge for sure, but isn't it it's also challenging working the same old job day in and night, where it takes up so much of your life, but on things that you don't always enjoy, or even if you enjoy it, you don't get to go on the vacations like the owners do. You don't get to have the fancy houses and the cars and the boats and things. You're working so that they can have that. And I just really had to take a step back to realize that's not what I want for my life. That's not what I want for me and my family. And that's not what I want my kids to grow up to believe that they have to go into either. there's options. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no judgment. If somebody absolutely loves the career that they're in, on the path that they're on, that is wonderful. I'm speaking to those who just are in that place and know that this isn't what I want. I know I'm meant for more. I want to have more freedom to be with my family, to live in the present, because it's sad to see how so many of us just end up on that end point of like, I've worked my whole life. Now what? Who am I? You know, what do I do now? When you get to that point where by then too, you're older. You know, you don't get to live life the way you would in a younger area of your time or of your life, you know? So it's nice to see that you're helping women in that world for sure. Cause it's so important. There's so much more to life than work. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a client at one point who worked for a very large insurance company and would tell me I'm a 4-year-old at home, I've got a 6-year-old at home, and I feel like I'm missing out on some really key experiences with them. And, we started working together because she wouldn't know her emotions. She wasn't able to really feel through the death of her mom, died from cancer, and she was having a really tough time. But at the same end of the spectrum, her job said, okay, now the funeral's over, get back to work. And it was like, there's no time for her to grieve.
Mhm.
And we would spend some Friday nights just talking.
Yeah.
And her husband was high up in the food chain as a detective. And so she spent a lot of time with her children and wanted more time with them during the week, and she's working 10, 12-hour days and had no space. And I said, why are you still there? And she said, honestly, to put food on the table, but I'm miserable. So we created a plan for her to exit that job and started really beginning the research of what would it look like, one, to either start her own business, or two, go work for somebody that saw her, validated her, believed in her work, and gave her the opportunity to see her children, pick them up from school, take Fridays off. And she was able to do just that. So she left corporate, went and worked for a really small business. And the guy said, I'm going to give you a big giant raise, like $40,000 or $50,000 raise. And she was already making Fridays off. And oh, by the way, you don't have to come into the office unless you really need to. Go be with your kids. Go love on your children. Create those memories that you wouldn't get to create had you stayed in that position. And I think we're seeing the beginning of the end of a lot of systems created in this country, from banking system to corporate. A lot of people in 2020 had to work from home.
Yeah.
We're starting to see more and more of that. The Great Resignation happened where women were leaving the workforce because nobody could take care of their children. And that was a beautiful time for me. And I know a lot of my friends that had children that said, you know what? I'm done working for somebody else. It's time that I put my money where my mouth is and I get this business up and running. And I get to support my family in a very pivotal way, but I also get to be mom full time. And I don't have to choose anymore. And I think we're going to still see more and more of that in the coming years.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that's the one thing I will give credit to having the technology that we have today, is that it is giving us more and more opportunities to do that, to be able to work from home, to be able to pursue your own business and get out there. And, I've had some people, say that they could never work from home. They don't like that, which, no judgments. If for somebody, if you feel like you need to be out there, doing things, like, do it. There's no judgment, of course, because that's another thing. It's like it's figuring out what, what you need for you. But for those of us who love being at home and enjoy working, I will say one of the things that I have been told is that you feel so alone that some people just can't handle like not getting socialized or whatnot. But I personally, within my business, have met more women and people and have had made more connections being in my house that I have working at a job, because I saw the same people every day, all the day. And there was always that drama, or there was always, the two-facedness and whatever. But it was, and even if we were super close, it's just like you see the same people and the same thing every day. But with this, when you become like an entrepreneur, or when you get to the point where you work from home, there are so many options to get yourself out there and get connected with people and meet new people and just not feel like you just have to be home day in and out and not make any friends, not have any connections, not have conversations. It that's to me is their unwillingness to just put themselves out there. But that's what I love for me. Like I said, I love my connections. Like I get to meet women like you. I get to get connected. It's wonderful. It's truly wonderful. So and please share with us too, like a little bit more about your business and how you help others.
Sure. Yeah. Like I think this is such an important topic because the more that women start businesses, I think there is a statistic out there that states that by 2030, women will have majority of the wealth in this country. Women being able to say, heck, I'm starting this business. I'm supporting my family. I'm supporting my husband if he wants to work from home or if he wants to be a full-time dad, do it. And I definitely think that we're going to see more and more of that happen with either our generation or our children. You see us doing it all and saying,
Yeah.
I want to be like that. I don't need to go to college and be in debt or go and work for somebody that doesn't value me. So as far as what I do, what I offer, I have been in the space of business consulting and sales for the last good part of 7 years. Actually, no. In March of 2017, I received a phone call from HR, and my boss was on the line and his boss was on the line. And it was a huge shock to me what came next, which was, we're letting you go. And we're shutting off your computer right now. We'll be down in Texas to pick up your vehicle. And oh, by the way, no more insurance, no more health benefits. You have a nice day. And it turns out the company I was working for laid off 40% of the company all in one day. So I felt like I'm really dirty, first of all. No one saw it coming, just not okay. And the fact that it was done over the phone felt outrageous to me. I was very upset. But, I'm very much a woman of faith. And a weekend before that, went out and got my personal training certification because it was something I wanted to do on the weekend. Didn't know that I was going to turn it into a full-time job or, be coaching other people, all these things. So after that phone call, a client called me and said, I just heard the news. Hey, look, we're hiring. I would love to have you on my team. And I said, let me get back to you. And it take 24 hours, cry this out, feel my way through this, and I'll get back to you.
Wow.
And so the next day, I called him back and I said, look, your offer is enticing. I think it's fantastic. I don't even have a car to come and see you at the moment. I have to go and buy a vehicle, but something doesn't feel right about me taking this. So I'm going to start my own business. And he was the first person that I told. And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, I'm really proud of you that you're doing this, because I watched my daughter work as a nurse and working 12-hour shifts on her feet 5 days a week, hating her life. And it wasn't until she decided to start her home healthcare business by herself and travel and do nursing. I've never seen him more happy.
Yeah.
And I want happiness for you. You have been excellent to work with, easy. We can't thank you enough. But go kill it. And call me when you've made it. So that was really the beginning. And like I said, I got into fitness, and within 1 month, my business was sold out. I had no personal training spots left. So I started working with other trainers, teaching them how to find clients online, how to really build a business, how to do that. But the entrepreneurship bug kept biting me of like, okay, this is cool and all, great to, do this. But it wasn't the end all be all. I wanted something more. And I met my husband in 2018. And he was the one to say, what would it look like if you did business consulting? What would that look like if you got back into helping other business owners, not just fitness owners? And I thought, yeah, that sounds really awesome. And I went for it. And I started working with female business owners who were running either coaching practices or financial firms or starting their own apothecaries. Like, I had a various numbers of businesses approach me to become their coach. And I started niching down and really realized that I loved working with women in finance. And the reason was because they were so emasculated and stuff in their, I have to do all the things, and I always have to be doing. And never realizing it's okay to just be. And it's also okay to delegate and start passing things over to a team or create one or leave a firm that you're at to start your own business. And the more I got involved in that community, and it's very small. So obviously there's financial advisors all over, but it's majority men. Only about 18% of the industry is made of women. And within that very small piece, 80% of that 18% are not client facing. So only 1 in 20 advisors happen to be a woman. And that 1 in 20 is actually CEO instead of filing your paperwork or answering the phone. So I saw a great need, and I saw a problem that needed to be solved, which was if I can help these women sell like a woman and sell their own way rather than always selling like a man and selling the systems and processes that their companies wanted them to sell. What if we created new processes and showed people how to build wealth the different way, a woman's way?
Yeah.
What if we did that? And it created a little bit of a shakeup. I was getting calls from men saying, why do you only work with women? Why can't you work with us? I don't understand. And I would say, look at the women. Do you see anybody around you? They don't want to work with you. They're starting their own things. They're way more diverse than just pushing profits.
Yeah.
Or pushing money. And the clients that I had the privilege of working with have created their own financial firms. They're running multi-million-dollar companies, $100 million, $10 million. They have teams. I had a client who started her own firm and then started a multimedia wing to that firm. She's a best-selling author. I helped her get a TV show. She's killing it.
Wow. That's
And I think it's so important for us to be advocates for other women. And here's why. We have to realize that we are amazing. And there's plenty of evidence to show that. If you had a child and pushed the baby out of your body, that's evidence. Just because you started a company and let's just say, you know, maybe it's not where you want it to be, you started a business. That's evidence of you being amazing. And my job in their lives is coming in and really helping them understand how worthy they really are and to trust themselves. And I do that specifically through the permission. So we start out with having you really understand what is the root cause of the emotion that might be holding you back. And I find that it is that unworthiness, could be loneliness, could be abandonment, something happened in childhood. I'm not a therapist. I don't really go into all the things that happen to somebody, but I start to piece the puzzle together of, okay, if we're feeling not worthy, where's that showing up in your business? Where is that showing up in your sales? How is that affecting your relationship with your child or your husband or your spouse? How is that showing up in other areas? Right?
Yeah.
So we start to become emotionally aware of, oh, I'm feeling unworthy, showing up, you know, in my heart, here in my body. And I use a very specific process called heart work, where, you know, hand on heart, hand on belly, understanding where that emotion is actually in the body. And then how can we talk through this and release it? But then also, again, start to see where's it showing up in the business. From there, we can start to really understand how to release this emotion that's stuck and start to uncover ways of why it's affecting our business or why it's affecting our sales. And then from there, we begin creating a master plan. What does it look like to feel worthy and start creating from that space and create a $100 million company or, you know, $100,000 month? What's that look like? And just this past year, a client were very successful in their journey, not just financially, you know, 6.5 million in total, but being able to finally take a stand for other women and say, I am worthy. I don't need to question myself, and neither do you.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, Brittany. I love what you do. That's amazing. Truly amazing. I love to hear this. It's incredible to see this more and more. It's so, like you say, the evidence surrounds all of us and our capabilities and what we can do. And honestly, like I see it too, it's like, stop depriving the world of the beautiful you, the unique gifts that you have to offer. You're depriving us of it. Like that, you know, you don't even realize it. You're depriving yourself of getting to show up. And another thing I love is like you're seeing more and more too that what people want is the authenticity of you. You know, we don't want this fake person showing up and making promises or just pretending to be one thing one minute and then you see another side of them and it's like, no, this is so great. Can you imagine living your life where you get to show up and just be you while making a true impact on people's lives? Like, come on. That's a great way to be. And that's the thing that so many people are missing, I feel like, is that they feel like they have to be somebody they're not. Well, you know, that's where that imposter syndrome comes in. You know, a lot of times people are like, who am I to, you know, think that I can do that or be like that? It's like, no, you really are meant to be who you are meant to be. And that is so much better than you can imagine.
Yeah.
It truly is. It truly is. And I love this conversation. I love actually to share this. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about if somebody was interested in learning more about how they could work with you, where's the best place for them to find you?
I would say LinkedIn.
Okay. LinkedIn. Awesome.
I have a program that I run called Failure Way, and it's a one-to-one sales mastermind where you get me coaching you weekly on not only 10xing your sales, but also helping you through this emotional path that you might be struggling on. So how do we get you to a place of mastering your confidence while also increasing your sales in your business?
That's incredible. And of course, we'll share all that in the show notes as well for you. So just before we end up here, is there any final piece of advice or inspiration you want to share with mamas out there listening?
I do. And this might be harsh truth, but I think we all need to hear it. Your husband's not sitting at his desk or in his car or on the couch questioning his worth. So stop doing it to yourself.
Mic drop. Love that. And that is so true. The confidence that you see so many, and some men aren't that confident as they personify, but it's still good enough. Like they do it and they believe in themselves. Why are we not believing in ourselves? And look at what we accomplish as moms as it is. You know, look what we get, what we do for our kids, for our homes, for everyone else. Like, come on, we are bosses. We got this. We just need to take, like, I love the fact that we do have so much of that masculine energy when it comes to doing things this way, that way, this way. I got to get it all done rather than showing up in that feminine energy and really trusting the process and really trusting in ourselves and listening to ourselves and allowing things to flow in ways that they need to and the timing that it needs to, instead of this whole immediate, I got to have it now, got to have it now. And if not, I'm a failure. Oh, this sucks. Oh, I can't do this, you know? And that's powerful right there. Yep. Know your worth, people. Know your worth. So, Brittany, I cannot thank you again enough for being on the show today. Truly, truly a wonderful conversation, wonderful time with you. I just adore you. Thank you again for being here with me on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So thankful to have had Brittany on the show. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. You have the power to master your emotions, such as confidence, trust, and safety. This emotional mastery can significantly boost your sales and make your business journey enjoyable. No matter how difficult your past might be, including struggles with addiction or trauma, you have the strength to overcome them and build a successful future. Your story of resilience can inspire and empower others. Finding the right community, whether through support groups, gyms, or other networks, can be transformative. Surround yourself with people who understand and support your journey. Choosing sobriety can lead to profound personal growth and new opportunities. It's a challenging path, but with determination and the right support, you can reclaim your power and create a fulfilling life. It's important to break the stigmas associated with addiction, especially as a woman, mom, or career professional. Your journey and experiences are valid, and sharing them can help others feel less alone and more understood. Understand that addiction can run in families, making it essential to teach your children confidence, self-love, and self-worth. This helps them resist peer pressure and avoid substance abuse. Your story is one of hope and resilience. You have the ability to change your life and inspire others to believe in their potential for recovery and growth. By sharing your journey, you give others permission to seek help and make positive changes. Your journey in business starts with believing in yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you make better decisions and lead more effectively. You don't have to choose between your career and family. Many women are now successfully creating businesses that allow them to be present for their families while also pursuing their professional dreams. Working in environments that validate and respect your contributions can significantly enhance your job satisfaction and overall well-being. Seek or create opportunities that recognize your worth and provide the flexibility you need. The corporate world can be demanding, but with the right mindset and support, you can transition to roles or businesses that align better with your values and personal life. Starting your own business gives you the freedom to design your work-life balance, use technology and resources available to create a business that suits your lifestyle and allows you to thrive both personally and professionally. As a mom and business owner, you are setting a powerful example for your children. Show them that it's possible to pursue your passions, build a successful business, and still be present for the important moments in their lives. Help your children develop a strong sense of self-worth by being an example. Your actions and words greatly influence their beliefs about themselves. If you want to learn more about Brittany and how she can help you in your business, be sure to click on the links in the show notes and contact her today. If you know someone who would find value from this episode, please be sure to share it with them. Also, if you felt this was valuable, please be sure to leave us a review or a 5-star rating so we can work to reach out to as many moms as possible. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you ever need support on your journey as a life coach, I can help you. Be sure to visit me at marydibblecoaching.com or reach out to me on Facebook to learn more about how I can support you. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, much love.